Hey y'all, if you followed my original photo montage tutorial and your project still looks a little maybe flat or rushed, you're not bad at this, I promise. You just may be making one of 5 very specific mistakes that I see regularly. And if you're new here, then welcome. My name is Adrienne and I make tutorials on video editing. And now let's get into it. Mistake number 1 is uneven pacing. All of your photos should be on screen for the same amount of time. If you have any movement on your photos, like a zoom in or a pan across, kind of like Tim Burns, those should all last for the same amount of time. And then every transition from one photo to the next, they should all last the same amount of time as well. This kind of consistent pacing will allow viewers to look at the photos and see the detail in each one rather than paying attention to the differences in pacing from one photo to the next. The second mistake is overusing transitions. Do not do a whip pan and then a hard cut and then a light leak and then one of those transitions that's kind of like a pixelated image generator kind of transition. That's too many and it's too distracting. And your audience is going to wind up watching the transitions and thinking about which one they like best rather than looking at the project you put together and the photos that you chose. I recommend sticking with 2 transitions and having them be similar in style. So you could do one that's a light leak and one that's like a chroma transition of some kind. Or you could do one that's a whip pan and one that's another sort of camera move. A hard cut is always a good choice as well. A hard cut is considered a transition, and if you don't want to do anything fancy, you can just stick with those from picture to picture. Mistake number 3 is choosing music that doesn't fit the mood. The last thing you want to be doing is doing like a travelogue presentation with ominous, dark music. Or maybe you've put together photos for somebody's big birthday, or maybe photos for a graduation, or maybe pictures for even something like a wedding reception. And if you don't pick the right kind of music to go with your event that you're putting together, it is not going to make a lot of sense, is it? Mistake number 4 is a detail-oriented mistake that I want you to consider when you are editing your project. And that is taking a look at the quality of the color from photo to photo, if those pictures, well, especially if those pictures have been taken by different cameras. Different cameras are going to produce slightly different images, right? We're not all taking pictures on an iPhone or on an Android, or maybe you have some older photos where someone actually had a film camera and they've been digitized in some way. But taking a look at the quality of the color from photo to photo and making tweaks in order to make sure that they're just a little bit more cohesive. They don't have to be identical. You know, a film photo isn't going to be exactly the same as an Android or an iPhone photo, but bridging that gap a little bit can make it feel much more seamless as you're going through your montage. Mistake number 5 is export settings, using the wrong export settings. Now, I understand that if you're not a professional editor, exporting can be kind of a black hole, and that's okay. You don't need to know all the ins and outs of exporting projects. If you are working in Adobe and Premiere, I really recommend people not change any of the settings on the export page and send their project to Media Encoder. Media Encoder has a lot of really great presets, and so you can choose something that is designed for you based on where you're going to be uploading your project, and then you can take it from there and screen it anywhere you want. Maybe you want to upload it to YouTube so that you can access it from a laptop and Wi-Fi anywhere. So choose one of the YouTube presets in Media Encoder, and it will do all the hard work for you. If you are not using Adobe and you're working in a different editing software, I would suggest not changing anything and just exporting the project as it is, and then playing it and seeing how it plays. Seeing if you like the aspect ratio, seeing if it is a small enough file size, and then perhaps tweaking from there in order to solve any problems you may be having. And that's it from me. 5 mistakes that I see regularly that are easy fixes if you're still trying to edit your photo montage to look a little bit more professional and polished. If you haven't seen that tutorial and you're interested in watching it, I'll leave it linked down below, and it'll be like up in a card here on the screen. And if the color piece is specifically something that is something you want to explore further, I do have a workshop. It's called Fix the Color First, and I'll link it in the description box below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. I'd love to see you back, and I'll see you in the next one.